Well, our business editor, Stephen Carroll, joins me now here in the studio. Hi there, Stephen.
Hi, Catherine.
And I think it's safe to say that we're going to be talking uniquely Brexit or no Brexit in our business news today. This playing out all across the business world, of course, this story. Let's start with a look at the currency markets. There's been a lot of action there linked to this referendum.
That's right. And today in trading, in fact, as people go to the polls in the United Kingdom, we've seen the pound hit its highest level this year. In Asia earlier, it hit over $1.48. Now, it's trading slightly below that as we come up to the European market open in the next hour's time. So we're seeing, you can see sterling just below that $1.48 mark, up just over 0.5%. Some traders saying that the volume of sterling that's being traded is some 50% above usual levels as voting gets underway. This is something that's being played out not only for traders, but also in the bureaux de change in Britain. People have been rushing to change their money, fearful of a dramatic fluctuation in the currency's value. Clement Bonnereau reports.
Long queues outside this exchange office in London as Britons are increasingly concerned about the consequences of a Brexit on the UK economy.
I'm going on holiday end of August to America. I just want to get my cash now, basically in case there is a leave vote and the pound does drop significantly. I thought it'd be worth getting my dollars now.
I'm going over to the Euros next week, so just need to pick up some Euros before the referendum, really. Just don't want to take the risk of waiting until the referendum and see the fluctuations that might bring.
Some economists have warned that a British exit from the European Union could cause the pound to fall by as much as 20%. It would weaken the spending power of retired Britons in Europe and America, as well as that of British holidaymakers abroad.
People are thinking that sterling is going to fall, and part of the proportion are purchasing their currencies well in advance before the decision has been made.
With recent polls suggesting the referendum is too close to call, sterling has fluctuated widely, falling sharply last week and rising again on Monday and Tuesday.
So let's just check on what's happening on the stock markets today as well. Investors really treading water ahead of course, the results that we'll get later on from the referendum in the United Kingdom. That's the picture on the Asian markets just a short time ago. So you're seeing mixed trading, slight gains on the Nikkei in Tokyo and on the Hang Seng in Hong Kong, the Shanghai Composite and the Kospi trading down. Trading said to be erratic, thin and cautious, which sounds like a lot of characteristics that you don't want to combine.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like much fun, does it? So the situation today, the markets, they have been preparing for this for quite a long time. It's not an unexpected event, let's say. What's likely to happen in the next few hours, though?
So it's going to be a very busy 36 hours, really, in London's financial hub. We're already hearing volumes of sterling trading are up dramatically on where they normally are. The main focus will be on the currency markets and what's going to happen to sterling. We know that several big hedge funds in London have commissioned their own exit polls, which they're going to use to try and make money out of this because they want to be able to anticipate the results even before the polls have closed, before we get any publicly published exit polls. And they're actually getting hourly data from those polls fed to traders, so they will have the latest information up to date. At huge cost, it had to be said. The cheapest of these polls is around £500,000. So companies really investing a lot of money in how they could be able to make money off this referendum. Sterling, we could see, as those early exit poll results come to traders, we could see movements in the value of sterling as early as this afternoon if there's a strong indication of a vote in one way or the other. The crucial period, though, for sterling will be, of course, after the polls close, when those traders will have access to the full exit poll results. And, of course, we start getting those from the media as well. That'll give us an indication of what the final overall results are. Currency markets trade 24 hours a day. We know that most trading floors in banks and hedge funds in London will be staffed all night. It's going to be a very long night for people working in the City of London.
So if those are private exit polls that the banks and financial institutions are receiving, is there a way that people who don't have access to those exit polls could try and read into what's happening on the markets to see
absolutely.
About what's
There is a deduction that we'll be able to see, because the expectation is, if there is a vote to leave, that we'll see this huge drop in the value of sterling. If there's a vote to remain, though, it's slightly less clear. If we take a look at how sterling's been traded over the past few months, since the campaign, since this referendum was announced back in February. So we saw a sharp drop at the start. That was after we had the announcement of Boris Johnson supporting the Leave campaign. Sterling dropped at that point. It's been tracking the polls vaguely since then, though. We've seen dips as the polls have indicated more support for the Leave campaign. But as you can see just to the right of that graph, in the past few days, as we've seen the polls nudge back in the other direction, nudge more towards the likelihood of a vote to remain, sterling has been picking up and strengthening. And we said earlier, it's hit the highest point in trading this year. So it's not exactly clear what would happen if there was a vote to remain, because the markets seem to have largely anticipated that in the way that trading is playing out. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. The bank Citi, though, has warned us that even if there is a weak vote to remain, that could still cause instability, not only on the markets, but also politically as well, because we don't know exactly how that would play out on the markets.
And this is, of course, being watched all around the world.
Yes, indeed. We've had warnings for many countries around the world as well. The United States, for example, whether or not there'll be an impact there. Just last night, we heard from Christine Lagarde, who said that the impact they didn't think was going to be great on the United States. But there will be plenty of countries watching, not only the UK's closest neighbour, Ireland, which is said to be the most exposed to a potential Brexit.
And celebrating the football, as I assume you are with your green tie today, Stephen.
Indeed.
Thanks very much, and we'll see you a bit later on for more business updates. And we're going to take a short break now. See you in a couple of minutes' time.